Hey guys, thought I'd do a video today on actually taping your foams to your wheel. This was something that I seen some guys were talking about, and it was primarily with the convicts and the slide lock from Pro-line. Um, Primarily, that's what they were talking about, trying to get trying to get the foam to be a little bit fuller, a little rounder carcass, which the convict is actually pretty round. The slide locks, a lot of us know that run them, are pretty flat, which in some cases is good. In some cases you might want more round. But also sticking the foam to the rim will also obviously change the handling characteristics. And I know what people have talked about and how it handles, and I kind of wanted to do it and just see for myself. Plus, it seemed to me that it would just be a good idea. It seems like it would, with the tire ballooning less, that it would help in a lot of different areas. So I tried it out and I ran it. I ran convicts, I ran slide lock, and I ran blockade, and all of them were really good. They were so good that I actually didn't run a regular tire back to back with them. I just kept running those for the day, and car was consistent. Lap times were good. What I can say, this is a track I ran at before, quite a bit of laps there, and the tires, it was really good. The grip was really good. It almost made the car feel, it made it feel very precise. Any input into the steering wheel almost seemed a little more instant. Everything seemed to react a little quicker, which I liked that. It was a different feeling, but I actually liked it. The only negative side that it seemed, and I cannot blame it on the tire, but it through high speed sweepers, if there was a rut to catch as you're going, through the sweeper, it would hold its line. But if there was a rut or a hole, it would catch it aggressively. And I mean, I'm thinking it might have had something to do with the foam, because it seems like when the tires are going through there at speed, maybe even ballooning a little bit, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room, maybe a little bit of cushion. I can't explain it, but it seemed this way that it would catch pretty easily. I can't guarantee it was the tires, but when I would go through a sweeper, the car feeling as good as it did, so I'm pulling the trigger good and it's staying stuck, and then all of a sudden you just get launched. It wasn't get up on two wheels and counter steer and save it real quick. It was flying through there, and then boom, car just goes flying. It wasn't a big issue, change the line here or there, or even slow down. Some of it was my fault, just because the car felt so good. I just wanted to rip right through the sweeper at probably a faster pace than I should have. But other than that, it was really good. So kind of jabbered a little too long there, longer than I planned, but I just wanted to tell you guys that. Now, to glue them on, I got just some 3M, or this is actually Scotch double-sided tape, and it's very thin foam double-sided tape. I'm sure many of us have seen it. Basically, all I do is start it on the wheel here. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. This actually goes up on the ribs. My other roll of 3M didn't, but I actually didn't worry too much about that, because I'll show you in a second, I just push it down. So I'm gonna wrap it around the wheel, keeping it nice and centered equally on both of those ribs. And you don't want to really stretch or pull it, but give it a little bit, but don't stretch it. And then when I get to here, I'm going to actually run my nail where I'm meeting up against where I started, and kind of give an imprint, and then just take my X-Acto knife and cut as close as I can to the other side. This will kind of stick. Give it a little pull, and you can see right there where I ended it. And you can also see how it's up on the edge just a hair. And I got a little bit of a wrinkle there, which I should be able to work that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and rub that down. And then just to get these edges set, I'm just gonna grab something. Got this hex driver here, and I'm just gonna kind of run it along that edge just to get that seated in there. So obviously I liked these, so I'm gonna mount up some more. The car felt so, precise is the best word I can use. It didn't have it wasn't forgiving, which is not a big deal. I liked it, but it didn't have that where it kind of feels like you're up out of the dirt for a second. It didn't feel that. It felt very precise, felt into the track, which I liked. So you can see there what it looks like. Got those edges nice and pushed down. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this corner up. Backside of the wheel's facing me. I'm going to peel this corner up, and I've already cleaned my wheel. I wiped this down with alcohol before I put this tape on. So I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to fold it around the side like that. Okay? A little bit is exposed. Okay? And then I got my I got some S4 Convicts I'm going to mount up here. So I'm going to take this. Tape is up top. The open tape is up top. And I'm going to stretch it around. I don't want to stretch it too much, but obviously I want to get the bottom side on. Now I'm going to pull this up and over the tape, and when I get it centered, I'm going to put it on there. And then I'm going to work the rest of it on. This stuff is super sticky. I mean, you can still move it a little bit, but once it presses down, it's on there. And actually, after running the tires a few times, I lifted the car off the track and gave it throttle just to see if I would notice any major ballooning in one tire over the other. The ballooning was very minimal, and all the tires were the same. So I'm gonna kind of feel this out. This part might feel like it's stuck, but if necessary, which I'll show you how to check here in a minute, we can move it. So this is what you have left. You got your tag sticking out here. I'm gonna pull this back and make sure the bead is all the way down, just like if you're getting ready to mount them. You wanna make sure that that bead is not hung up on that back wall there. Looks good. Push it down my thumb. Same thing here. I'm looking to make sure it's not hiked up, and I'm just going around. I'm sorry if you guys can't see exactly what I'm doing here, but hopefully you get the idea. I'm basically just pulling back to peek in there. So give it a good look. This is going to seem like it takes a lot of time, but it doesn't when you're, obviously when you're not making a video. So that looks good. So now I'm going to have this red tape at the top, and I'm just going to kind of seat the rest. I'm not going to run over the red tape. I got a marker I put through here. I'm not going to run over that tape. Just going to help seat the rest of it, which is not sticking to anything. Obviously, it's still got the tape on there. Keep the tire flat, roll it back and forth. Okay, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop it out all the way around. So I'm just pulling out that backside bead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to peek in here, and you guys can see, to make sure that it's even. So I'm just going to basically look down on it, and usually you'll have, if you're looking straight down, you usually have about 2 mil or so, and just make sure it's looks the same all the way around. And I'm just peeking in there. So where the tape is actually at, I'm going to give it a little bit of pull towards me, and now we're good. So now you can see this is all hanging out from me peeking on it. Now I'm just going to put it back in, just like we had it before we wanted to take a look at it. And I'm going to work it around with my thumbs and work it evenly, just like you're getting ready to mount the tire. Now, I should have probably put the camera on the other side. I'm going to grab this tape, and I'm just going to pull all the way around. So I'm pulling it out straight out from the wheel, so it's exposed. Now your bead will probably pop back out. You can also do this while the bead is still out. I probably could have done it that way, because I'm going to retuck it anyways. So now you can take another peek at the foam if you want to. That bead's out, obviously, because I pulled the red tape off. And just retuck that in. Looks good, nice and flush, no crazy bulges. Sidewall is all, the bead's nice and flush with the wheel. Same thing here. Now we're gonna roll it again. Don't push hard so you're not expanding the foam on the front side, so you're gonna have a buildup. Just give it a little bit of pressure. Few rolls. Now make sure you're not leaning. Make sure the tire's flat down the center. Reset everything, and it should look perfect. So you can see it's all nice and in line. no crazy bulging, and everything's in place. So just another idea. I know Adam did a really good video on gluing the foams, which is another option. This foam tapes, you know, it gives you a little bit more, I don't know if I want to call it foam, but it push your foam out a hair and you know, build up the tire just a little bit more. And like I said, it drives, the grip was good, very precise, very reactive. So I liked it, and that's why I'm mounting up more. So, all right, guys, sorry that video took so long. I know it gets boring after about the 2-minute mark. Glad you hung in there that long. And I'm no pro. That's just what I do. Hopefully it helps you guys. All right, thanks.